Hey y'all, hold on, let me see. They still to my referral link, y'all. It's in the way again. What I did? Okay. See, it won't even let me post my comment because the doggone referral link thing is in the way. I need to upgrade. But hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Well, technically it's a lie, but it's the same thing, same difference. But yeah, look, where we gonna start? Where we gonna start? Cause I said can't Alexis, can't they just first of all, Ava and Rick, we just gonna start from the top, y'all. We gonna talk about it though. Ava and Rick. So she don't walk to the hill. She done went bought her a fur coat. What is it? Says my nephew shared a video on TikTok. Okay. But yeah, Ava done walked up in the dog in Rick hospital bed. Did they ever say what was wrong with Rick? What did they ever say? I just realized he's still in the hospital and Elizabeth don't went home. She got a broken leg. So I was like, what's wrong with him? Maybe because, I don't know. I don't know. I about to say because he was driving, but at the same time, they both got injured. Did they ever say what was wrong with Rick? Did he break anything or anything like that? I don't know. Because I was like, I just realized he was still in the doggone hospital. But yeah, on today's episode, so she done walked in. She already letting people know that she got money. How you gonna go from not having anything to downsize? Dog, they sharing a lot of videos. What is that? What is that? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, how you go, they gonna ask how did you go from downsizing to now? What was she trying to buy? Was she trying to buy a car or something? I was like, she already, and then I was like, Lexus done messed up. She done messed up big time. Cause what's to stop them from taking all the money they could take, reporting her, or not even reporting her? Can't they detect that the money been transferred and taken out of the account? I was like, it's like she learned nothing from the whole weapon situation. It's like she learned nothing. I said this was gonna happen. They gonna end up showing the police what Christina did. She gonna go to jail, and Alexa gonna go to jail for stealing money that don't belong to her. But yeah, she done walked in here with this. I keep saying that she done walked in with the fur coat or whatever, and Rick basically told her she need to take all that back. She ended up bringing him. What she bring him, a watch or something? Yeah, and I was like, and he told her the same thing. He was like, you gonna basically let people know that you got money and stuff like that. And he told her something about create an offshore account. And I'm about to say that. I was like, can't they detect that Alexis? Either way it goes, she's the only one. Ace ain't did it. Ace is a child, whatever. I say they gonna be able to detect that you don't stole this doggone money. You going to jail. You going to jail. And I was like, it'd be a shame she'd have set up here. Christina ended up going to jail because they could get all the money they want to get and they could transfer it to their offshore account. And did I add the ads? I don't know. But yeah, they could transfer all the money to the offshore account so nobody be able to find it. And then they could still turn Christina in. They could still show the video, they could drop it off. They could drop it off or send it through email or something like that. Like they could do anything. I was like, Alexis don't think. And Diane was trying to tell her. We finna talk about that next. But yeah, he ended up telling her, you need to return all of this. She talking about she keeping the doggone coat. She keeping the coat and stuff like that. I was like, okay. I said, okay. I said, Alexis could have went to Sunny. They could have done something else. I was waiting on them to have her committed or whatever. Hopefully they still have her committed before they end up returning her, putting her in jail. But yeah, what else happened with them? I don't know. I think she started. Did she kiss him or something like that? I don't know. She went locked the door. I don't know. After that scene, but Alexis, Diane was still trying to have Christina committed, and Alexis talking about, yeah, I don't want to do that. I still don't want to do that because Marley and Christina made some. Why people be more? How do I say this? I think I said it before though. She over here talking about some all the progress Marley. Then what was it yesterday? Yesterday was Monday, right? Yeah, yesterday on the promo or whatever for this week. Molly's supposed to be. That's what I forgot. Molly's supposed to be looking at something. I'm assuming it's the documents to have Christina committed. But what's in the documents though? Is the reason why she needs to be committed in the documents or what? Do they have to put why she? More than likely, they got to put why she being committed, right? So I'm like, okay, at this point, I want Molly to find out because she been over here. I agree with Rick on that. I agree with Rick on that because it's always be Christina. It always be Christina, whatever. Excuse me. It always be Christina, and I was like, Lexus never learned. How this girl supposed to learn anything if you study over here trying to save her? You steady run up over here to save her, whatever. But yeah, Diane trying to have Christina committed, and Lexus just over here still talking about some, no, I don't want to do that, and they just made so much progress. And Sam, don't bring Sam into this. Don't bring Sam into this. And then, look, I ain't realized that all this tied in together. The first three, Ava, Rick, Diane, Alexis, Lucky, Christina. Might as well put a little, I forgot what this called or whatever. But yeah, because I was like, Christina, she might as well turn herself in. She over here, she done went, she make it so obvious. She done went to Lucky, well, Elizabeth house or whatever. I think Lucky's staying there or whatever. But yeah, she done went there or whatever. She told me she feel guilty and stuff like that. And she wondering if she turned herself in. But by the end of the episode, she said the same thing that Alexis said, that Molly just forgave her and all this stuff would do damage. And she spoke on Alexis. I said, Alexis, meanwhile, then another thing I just thought about, Alexis still ain't told Christina that she knows about it. Probably because she knows she probably gonna turn herself in so that she won't have to do what Ava says. And Lucky was basically telling Christina she need to drop this and leave it alone. She gotta let her vendetta against Ava go. And she told me, yeah, I'm gonna let it go. Shoot. She was as sure as she is Sonny and Alexis' daughter, she ain't letting nothing go, especially if she finds this out. I said, you ain't letting nothing go, girl. You ain't letting nothing go. But yeah, she went there. She was saying she feels guilty and stuff like that. He just trying to tell her to drop it. Then another thing, is Elizabeth on bed rest? I don't know if she on bed rest or what. I was like, they too comfortable. They be over here talking too much. If you're gonna talk about a secret, don't talk with one of the people who can turn you in is upstairs. I'm assuming she upstairs because she's supposed to be on bed rest or something like that for 6 weeks, ain't it? I don't know if she in physical therapy yet or what. But I was like, how y'all gonna talk about this while she upstairs? Is it because you think she can't get out the bed or something? I was like, what if she tiptoe or what if somebody else heard? Y'all know they be over here and stuff. Yeah, I was like, how y'all gonna talk about that right where she at? But yeah, what else? I think that's all, Christina. He just I said, look, he done messed up. You just barely got Elizabeth back, and you already over here making an excuse for the well, she wasn't trying to take her out or Rick out. She was trying to get Ava. Hold on. Okay, who we got next? I said at this point, I wrote at the top of the notes, y'all. I said at this point, lock Alexis and Christina up. Right, exactly. Lock both of them up. But yeah, Curtis and Trina was just talking about Kylie's surgery, and she still don't feel comfortable with it. They both have their objections and their concerns or whatever because Drew wants something. And I want to know, because he ended up on today's episode, might as well go and tie that into there too, because Trina and Curtis was just talking about the same thing, Kai, his surgery and stuff like that. Then Drew and Kai ended up going to see Drew and telling him, hold on, y'all. Ended up telling him that, he want to go through with the surgery. I said, how you get this doctor already there? Doctor already coming. I already done got a schedule and everything. But yeah, he ends up telling Drew that he want to do the surgery or whatever. He's like, thank you, man. You doing this. This so kind of you. This so nice. He's so gullible. I said, he's so gullible, but he finna find out. Well, I ain't gonna say that because these people on this show, these people don't be finding out nothing. Hold on, what was that? I did just send the messages in the group, y'all. But yeah, cause I was like, after he said it, he was like, he gonna schedule it and stuff like that. He was like, how can I repay you? He's like, there is one thing. He told my son he knows somebody and he want to do a documentary about, the recovery and all this other stuff. He wants something to make him look good. So he not what was the nickname they gave him? What was the nickname they gave him? Cutthroat? I don't know if it was Cutthroat or what. But yeah, I said it's either that or he wants something else. But yeah, he asked him about a documentary. Kind of talking about some that's the least he could do. Now I said, what if this goes wrong? You still gonna owe this man. You still gonna owe him one way or another. But we're gonna circle back to Kai. I'm gonna just do it in the order that I wrote it down in. Nina and Carly. Nina went over there. Carly left her outside. She ended up, I said, can you mute notification? It keep coming through. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But yeah, she was gonna leave Nina outside. And once again, Nina and Portia doing everything except telling the truth. Both of them doing everything but telling the doggone truth. I said, and that's where Alexis need to learn it. Because if they sit up here and blackmail you and they want you to do one thing, you do it, and it don't produce the results they looking for, then they be like, okay, now you gotta do this, and it never ends. It never ends. But yeah, Nina stopped by. She wanted to talk. She talking about some Drew. Don't sit his tail up here. he already looking for a realtor in DC, trying to get a house in DC. I said, okay, what he got going on? What's really? Because first you didn't even want to. You supposed to be in DC right now. What you even doing in Port Charles? I said, you supposed to be going now. So what is his plan? What is his motive? What is his intention? I'm ready to find out at this point because this been going on for far too long. But yeah, he looking for a realtor in DC, already trying to get a house, y'all. I already got one. Just got that one. Ain't even got that all the way off the ground. All the way off the ground. Ain't got that one, furnished. Well, he did get it furnished. I take that back. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Probably. But yeah, who else we got? I ain't finished with Nina and Carly. They were still talking about the plan, and she talking about some. Now I was with you until you start talking about Nell. Now I won't tolerate that. And Carla basically said that was fair, and they were still going over the plan, and she was trying to beg her not to, take it to the courts or take it too far, or take Willow kids, and they just waiting on Michael to get back so they both can split 50-50 custody. I said, you a lie. I said, you a lie, and the truth ain't in, because wasn't you the one that started all this? I ain't gonna say you started it, whatever Michael and Willow had going on, but you the one. She took it upon herself to get the courts involved in the first place, and I'm confused now in regards to the Nina situation, as well as is it on this? No, it's on the boat for never mind. I was about to say, because when it's a doctor situation, they say you can't tell nobody what the patient got going on, and in regards to the lawyer thing, they do the same thing. So how was Nina able to sit up here and hire and find out information about Willow and Michael? And she started all this. Then somebody said, yeah, this we both want the same thing or whatever. Hold on, y'all. She over here talking about trying to tell Carly that she wants the same thing. She want both of them to share custody and stuff like that. I said, how is that when you the one told her? And I feel like Jason the only ones who say things for what they was. Look, I just skipped everything, huh? But he ends up telling her, you've been listening to too many people giving their opinions. But my opinion don't matter. Carly's opinion don't matter. Drew and them opinion don't matter. It's about you and Mike. I said, finally, because what the freak going on? Everybody making decisions for them. Neither one of them really wanted to take the kids from the other one, but because everybody in their ear and stuff like that, this is what we got. But let's see, Nina and Carly. I think they still was planning on Carly. Oh, I know. Carly was saying how she thinks Nina don't want Drew and Willow together. Wait a minute. I said that wrong. Carly thinks Nina wants Drew and Willow together. That's why she didn't say nothing when they were standing up there together and stuff like that. And that's when she ends up talking about Nell, and she overstepped and she shouldn't have did that or whatever. And she was trying to get Carly to hold off and stuff like that. And just begging and stuff like that. Oh, girl, Carly gonna do what Carly gonna do. And Carly sure did. Right after Nina left, she called Diane over there and she wanted to know where things stand. And that's when they was talking about, moving up the hearing so that they can get custody and stuff like that, because Michael had already filed for full custody. And I said, there they go again. Thinking for these folks. But yeah, what else? It was something else. Let me see. Willow and Jason. She ended up contacting him because she needed his help. She was like, you did it before. You helped me before and stuff like that. Can you help me again? Can you make sure, Carly don't try to take her kids from her or whatever? I said, she's scared. She's scared, ain't it? Then I said, she just had this whole conversation with Jason about sorry for y'all, but she just had this whole conversation with Jason about everybody thinking for her and having all these opinions. She done went told Drew on tomorrow's episode she's supposed to be telling him she got to go talk to Michael and stuff like that. I said, don't tell him nothing. You ain't got to run nothing by him. Because he over here, he doing too much now. I don't know what between him and Sewell. He over here taking over Michael's life and stuff like that, and Sewell trying to get Sonny up out the picture. I was like, what they got going on? But yeah, they ended up talking. She wanted his help or whatever, and he told her, like, it don't matter what I think, it don't matter what they think. You have to go to Germany and talk to Michael. And Carly also said, I forgot that part. Carly said something about I think Diane mentioned that Michael wasn't there right now. She was saying something about moving him. Did she say she was gonna move him? So she bringing him back to town? I said, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Finally, they finna finish this whole storyline. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, she did say something about moving him back because Diane was mentioning the fact that Michael's not there or whatever. And they did say that Michael listened to Carla and do whatever she wants. And I said, but then when they find out that Michael not only cheated, but he actually cheated. He actually cheated, and got Sasha pregnant. I said they probably gonna take his kids from him. They'll be messed up though. They'll definitely be messed up or whatever. But yeah, I can see it happening now. But yeah, at least he'll have one baby because eventually Sasha may. I don't know now. She may let him see the kids. The kid. But yeah, by the end of their conversation, that's when he told Willow to go see Michael, go talk to him or whatever. The reason they in that situation to begin with because they stopped communicating with each other or whatever. I've seen some people they don't agree. They don't agree with her going to see Michael. They think she needs to stay far away. I feel look either she gonna see his phone and see the dog on ultrasound, or either when they move Michael back in town, that's when everything gonna come out or whatever. But yeah, who else we got? Let's see. Willow, Jason, Alexis Reek. Alexis Reek. Diane ended up mentioning to Alexis something she has to be worried about is Rick or whatever. Him remembering what happened. I was like, but wait though. Wait, how she knew? She didn't know that Rick seen Christina or whatever, but he probably knew that the brakes had went out though. That's probably what she meant by that, y'all. That's probably what she meant by that. But yeah, Alexis though came to Rick room. She over here acting like stuff sweet, stuff normal and stuff. She over here acting like everything okay. She checking on him stuff, asking how he doing or whatever. And he was like, cut the crap. He like, cut the crap. I know why you here. You know why you here. Your psychopath daughter tried to take me up out of there. So they started going back and forth. She was like, yeah, I guess the truth is over. He like, I guess so. Your daughter tried to take me out. I said, right. I said, exactly. And he mentioned, let me see if I wrote it down. He mentioned that he was looking forward to Molly seeing one that Alexis would always choose Christina, and that he said what Christina capable of. I don't know what he said, but either way go, he wanted Molly to separate from whatever. So she started playing the victim card, talking about some would you really do that? I thought you loved your daughter or whatever. Would you really just, hurt her like that by taking away her sister? She already lost one sister. I said, well, that's a guilt trip. I said, look, I don't know how to feel about that. I definitely don't. I said, they just was getting along. Christina had to go take her tail and go cut them wires and stuff. They were just getting along. I feel like it would have eventually, got back to this point regardless, That's just the history of these folks. That's just the history of these folks or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, and she was just begging him. He was like, I like to see you beg. I like to see you beg. Nah. But he said something. He liked the satisfaction that once she begging, and he loves seeing that she put her morals to the side when it comes to Christina. I still say they could just take the money and then still turn Christina in. Then they find out about Alexis, or either they report Alexis for I don't know, embezzling money. Yeah, that's what he said, right? He was like, he brought that up. The fact that she's embezzling money from a kid. I said, yeah, they gonna notice that their money. They supposed to get alerted. Now she's supposed to be in charge, but they still supposed to be alerted that she taking money or whatever, because she the only one. Ace can't get it. She the only one. They don't. I said, how's she covering her trace? This gonna come back to get her. Excuse me. But yeah, I was like, so he ends up saying he not gonna say anything. And I was like, Alexis. Alexis. If this don't show you what these people capable of, if you don't see now that you need to go on, have Christina committed, at least, I don't know what to tell you. Because I was like, he just told you what his plan was. Ava told you what her plan was when she said this will do for now. Y'all agreed on this amount. She talking about it's gonna go up. It's gonna continue to go up. How much up? How much up? Until all the money gone? And they definitely gonna know the money gone by then. Let me see. Is it muted? No, it's unmuted, I think. But yeah, Portia, Drew, Curtis, Portia stopped by. That's another thing. I told y'all, if either they crazy or either these folks want to confront a crazy person, or they want to confront somebody that's blackmailing them with threats, or they just say too much. She went to talk to him about Kai and tell him she a doctor. I'm a doctor or whatever. Kai shouldn't have had this procedure, stuff like that. He basically telling her, I don't care nothing about that. You talking about you a doctor for now, because I will tell you. I said, ain't nobody gonna keep threatening you like that, girl. Go on, tell. And Curtis popped up. That's another thing I spoke on before. What you think your husband gonna think? He gonna think y'all got something going on. Y'all two, what's it called? Y'all around each other way too much. Especially when you know your husband don't like him and they ain't friends no more, and you supposedly don't like him, and every time he come around, you in his either he in your office or you at the house. He's like, "What you doing here?" Whatever. She's like, "I just came to say, I don't agree with Kai having this surgery or whatever." And that's when, excuse me, and that's when he was saying, "Lord have mercy." And that's when Curtis said that he was there for the same reason. They tried to tell him it's not a good idea and stuff like that. Kai could get hurt, he could end up in a wheelchair, but Drew don't care. It's either for that documentary he said or something more, But we'll see though. And then what's gonna happen is Kai gonna do what he want, or he either gonna say, "Yeah, I thought about it, but I don't want to do it." He gonna like, "After everything I did for you, everything I did for you, whatever." Or either he gonna want that, then he gonna want him to do something else, and it's gonna continue just like what's going on with Portia. Because he was mad about the Portia situation. He was like, "I asked you to talk to Curtis and stop him. Since you can't do that, I don't know why I don't keep your secret." And I said, "I don't know why you keeping the secret either. Might as well go and tell so Jordan and Curtis can get back together. Because that's why Isaiah and Jordan ended whatever they had going on." I said, "Dog, they just started. But with Carly and Diane, we already talked about that. She wanted to find out. Oh, and she also said something about she didn't want them to know about the hearing that has been moved up or whatever." I said, y'all gonna regret this. Especially when Carly find out Michael cheated too. Well, she probably ain't gonna care. They all cheat. Kai and Trina was just talking about his surgery and stuff like that. That's all that happened. But yeah, I said I wrote down if Christina turns herself in, couldn't Alexis still go to jail regardless? Yeah, I feel like she still could go to jail because she's stealing. It ain't her money. She embezzling money and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Jason tells Will to go to Germany and see Michael and end the war. Lucky tells Christina to let go of the vendetta. Rick wants Molly to see choose Christina. At this point, not Lucky, Locke. Yeah, that's everybody, y'all. That's it. That's all. What we at? 21 minutes. It be way longer when you go live. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is her girl. Be safe.